talked about that. It's like when we live below the line, all we care about is sterilizing the jars. I got to make sure I'm doing enough. I got to make sure I look right. I got to make sure I'm this and that and this and that. And what we don't know is that this is about the jars, but there's peaches. There's peaches that go in the jar. We've spent our whole lives worried about the jar, and the whole time God going, I've got the fruit. The fruit is your life in me. The fruit is me living my life through you. Let me fill you. It's not just good enough to clean up your jar, but when we live below the line, that's what life is about. Performance, appearance, and that kind of thing. Okay. Okay, we got that last week. Don't go there. Unfortunately, that's where most Christians live, trying to become something that you already are. I got to be, I hope this doesn't be offensive. Terry has this hymn that she really doesn't like. It's, take time to be holy. Take time to be holy. And she goes, what? I mean, the Bible says, I am holy. It's, we're trying to be something down here that we already are. Above the line. When I look up, I'm not looking into heaven, okay? Remember, this is eternal life, that you know God. So when I talk about the unseen, eternal, that's not heaven I'm referring to. It's this reality. It's a real realm where we live, in our spirit man. Okay. He's continuing to work the truth in us, conforming us into His image. Third, the distinction between the two realms is important because God has designed us so that we can find fulfillment only in the unseen and eternal. It is true that below... Now watch, don't turn me off here. Wait a minute, I love going to Titans games. I'm not talking about that, okay? There are pleasures. God has provided for our pleasure down here in this realm. Okay, don't confuse me. God, you're against all that? I'm not. No. If you've heard that at all, you're so wrong. There's so much that there are pleasures in this realm that I enjoy. Music and sports, and there's just so much that I love in this seen realm. Okay, don't make this what I'm not saying. But here's the deal: none of them ultimately satisfy. They're pleasures, they're awesome, but they don't fill the void that's in my heart. There's a God-shaped hole here that only above the line stuff can fill. Got it? Okay. We only find true life above this line in Him, because that is life. Listen, my marriage is amazing. Terry and I hugged Wednesday night at supper, and some of those we saw that. My marriage is incredible. My kids, I get so much joy and pleasure from my kids. And I can't believe Annie's 15 today. I mean, it's like yesterday she went to bed a little girl, and today she woke up a woman. What? I mean, it's like, it goes like that. Terry does this skit when we do conferences or whatever, and she holds up Matthew's sock and when Mary was a baby, and Mary's sock. It's like this little bitty sock and this big baseball tube sock, like here and here. And she goes, the difference in this and this is that. Isn't that true? Listen, so my children they're my delight. They bring me such joy. My work, most of my work. Listen, there are things in my work that feed me as a man, and I take great pleasure in those things. Pastoring, doing the things there's just it's like it's a sweet spot. There's just so much about that. My leisure, it's all awesome. Listen, but it cannot complete me. As good as those things are, it still leaves me empty. That's why I have to know that this is the scene. This is temporary. But above the line, when I get that, yes, God is my life. He is who fills me. And so my spirit man, as he lives his life in me, I live in this unseen, eternal mindset. Does that make sense? It's okay to enjoy what you enjoy, but get it, that can't, listen, remember I said my kids they repeat this all the time. Somebody said it this week, I don't remember. Dad, expectations kill relationships. Remember when I said that a few weeks ago? See, what we do is in this realm where we expect so much out of each other. You have expectations of me as a pastor. Listen, let me just tell you now, you're going to be mad at me. All right, it's over. It's okay. It is. I'm going to disappoint you. I'm not going to do what you're not going to like how I preach, or you're not going to like the music, or you know what? Seriously, I mean, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm really not. But we expect you expect things out of me that I can't give you. I can't. And if we were to turn the table, there are some things that I would love to expect out of you that you can't give me. Only we cannot complete each other. Terry can't complete me. And when I go into marriage, it's like she's all I've got and I got to get everything. Listen, she can't do it as awesome as she is. And I come really close for it. No, I'm playing. Do you understand? Expectations, it kills relationships. It has to be above the line stuff. And so I go, you know what? I'm a spirit man. God is in love with me. I get my identity. And He has blessed me with a part of my life. I get to share most of my life with this incredible, gorgeous, gifted woman. You know, that's it. It's like, okay, that's it. But she can't fulfill that hole because it's a hole from up there. All right, we're about there. To whatever degree we don't know the unseen and eternal realm, we seek answers in the seen and temporal. Let me say it again. To whatever degree we don't know the unseen eternal realm, that same degree we seek answers here in the seen and temporal. We look for eternal answers among temporal things, but we discover it can't provide them. And so we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up for failure in life if we're looking for ultimate answers in a non-ultimate realm. A realm that is partial, a realm that is fragmented, a realm that is incomplete, that is fractured. It is a part of God's design. This is an important sentence. It's part of God's design to make us dissatisfied with what this seen and temporal offers. It's part of His design. Why? Because it's so that I would seek my life in Him. It's not fulfilling. Why? It's because I have to seek life from Him. When we sang some of those songs this morning, I was like coming out of my skin. Like, Hosanna. Some of the words in it, I'm like, yes, God, You are my life. Listen, that's what worship is. Don't get hung up on what song or what posture. There are 7 or 8 different postures in the Bible about worship. You ought to look them up. They're awesome. I mean, you know, and some are with their hands, some are on their face, some are kneeling, some are dancing. There's all these different postures of worship, and we get hung up on the posturing and miss the whole deal. But that's another sermon. But what I'm saying is that it's like, worship is simply going, You are my life. It's just all that I am. All that song we sang when all is said and done. All that I long for, all that I hope for is You. All that I'm hungry for is You. That's worship. That's all it is. That's worship. We just express our hunger and desire for Him as we sing or whatever. Okay. So as believers, you and I live below the line, but we really are not below the line people. We're above the line people like Jesus. Like, what? You said we're like Jesus? Yes. The writer of Hebrews says He was the firstborn of many brethren. What? Paul says it this way, you are joint heirs with Jesus. So what was true of Jesus, and I'm a 1 John 2:6 guy, he who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk just as he walked. So I'm going to go, I get to walk like Jesus walked. And what was true of him is true of me. He's a above the line person living in a below the line realm. Okay? And that's how my life is to look. Our focus will be, but where am I? We're below the line. We're not really below the line people. We are kingdom people, but we live in a realm of temporal appearances that differs from what God sees in the unseen eternal. This is it. Spiritual growth is a process of replacing temporal appearances with eternal realities. That's what spiritual growth is. Spiritual growth is a process of replacing temporal appearances with eternal realities and living from that place. Okay, here's the CSI thing. Okay, the tape. We live in a crime scene. When Adam and Eve fell, we inherited their nature. And there is someone who has put this tape. His name is Satan. He's put this tape and goes, do not cross. This is all you're ever going to be. This is, look at you. Look at you. And so he gets us to, it's behavior and appearance and all this. It wants us to focus, and he does not want us to cross the line. You're just a sinner. Look at you, blah, 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 all of that stuff that just, but when we get, wait a minute, I have been born again and Jesus lives in me, and the reality is that I am an above the line. I wish I could just rip these tape down. It's like, that's who I am. I happen to be here in this but that's who I am. Listen, my prayer for you is that as we keep working on what we're doing, building this foundation for our spiritual life, understanding who we are, that we would all get that the Spirit of God, that because of the death and burial and resurrection of Jesus, the Spirit of God lives inside of me. Remember, this is a carton. What used to be in here is dead. My old man is dead. And because of that, Jesus Christ lives inside of this carton, and he wants to live his life from a place, because I'm seated in him in heavenly places, the first verse we read, because I'm seated in him in heavenly places, and now what is true of him in this realm, as he came down and walked it out down here, seeing down there through this lens, that's how we are to live life. Do you got that? Okay, tell me what you heard. I guess we're going to have to start over. No.
Eternity is now.
Eternity is now. Good.
Spiritual growth is the process of replacing the temporal, I guess, with the eternal.
Yes. That a boy, Steve.
We only find fulfillment in the unseen.
Good. We only find fulfillment in the unseen. That a girl.
We're not defined by our failures.
Yes. Not going to be defined by our failures.
We're to walk as Jesus walked.
We're to walk as he walked. Yes.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. A lot. I like it a lot. What?
Performance is not your identity.
That a boy, G. Performance, big G. Brooks and I saw a big G truck yesterday. Garrison said, did you, Tony? Garrison said, performance is not my identity. So you can let go of yesterday, can't you? There you go. All right. That's who I was referring to about the Ophir. Okay. I'm playing.
This is all an illusion. The only thing that's really real is above the line.
Wow. Gary goes, this is all an illusion. The only thing that's really real is what is above the line. Yeah. You know, you can't be disillusioned unless you have believed in an illusion to begin with. You know, we're all disillusioned. Yeah, it's because we believed in this illusion that this seen and temporal was all there is, and that we were going to be happy, and oh, look at my kids, aren't they so, you know, and everything's hunky-dory in life. Listen, it ain't. It's just, there's no way to, I know the proper ways to go. It's not. I don't use ain't, but, you know, it